All right, everybody, we are live here in the West Coast Virtual Live Agile Meetup. We don't have any other panelists right now. If you're out there and watching this and you want to join as a panelist, just go ahead and hit Project Manager. Go to PugetSoundProjectManagers.com. That's plural, Project Managers. PugetSoundProjectManagers.com. And go ahead and join that meetup, and go ahead and click the link that is there for today's meetup to join as a panelist. And make sure you have a headset and a webcam, and you'll join right in, and you'll join with me here. I can have up to 9 people here. First come, first serve. Anybody can jump in. Once you're in, we can converse with us. Questions for folks that want to join and just ask questions. That go to that same place, PugetSoundProjectManagers.com. Again, PugetSoundProjectManagers.com. And there's a link for panelists. It says panelists, and to add questions and vote on questions. Click that link, and you'll get the link where you can actually watch us. While you're watching us, over on the right-hand side, you'll be able to actually add questions in there as well. So go ahead and try that out. Right now, I don't see any questions queued up. So until we get some questions queued up, what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to go through, and I think we'll probably just review some websites. I'll go and find some Agile Scrum websites, might be resources, things like that. And, we'll review those and see what we might see on those websites and chat a little about them briefly. So as you join, again, if you'd like to be a panelist, just go ahead and please join in. If you're out there, go ahead and enter your questions, and I'll pop up here and I'll be able to see them. Right now, I don't see any questions in line, so we're going to start with some reviews. And let me go and share my screen here. And I will share the screen. What's that?
I don't know if others are facing the same.
Try it again. Do a reload. It's coming up for me. Okay, so we should be sharing our screen right now. Okay, there you go. I think you guys see the screen now. If I go over to Scrum methodologies here, see if you see that. Okay. So Scrum methodologies here. This is a good site. It's got the, I think this is the, yeah, this is a site by Michael James. He's got some other training stuff. He's got some good training things on here. Some training videos and all on here. I think it's a really great resource site for anybody to go and take a look at. ScrumMethodology.com. Really nice resource site to go ahead and take a look at. You want to get some quick training on, hey, what's introduction to Scrum, backlog refinement meetings. He's got videos on all the events, major events, sprint planning meeting, the daily Scrum meeting, sprint review meeting, and sprint retrospective. You'll notice from the Scrum framework, right? These are the 5 events. So he's got all that defined in there, right? Introduction to Scrum, and then he's got the events. The backlog refinement isn't necessarily a defined event in this framework, but it is a defined part of the rules, part of what you actually have to get done. There's not a set time box or anything to it, but it's a process that needs to take place during the ongoing Scrum process. No defined time boxes or anything on it, but it's up to the product owner's discretion. So But the rest of them are that you see here are events: the sprint planning meeting, the daily Scrum meeting, the sprint review, sprint retrospective. So go ahead and take a look at those good trainings. Let's see. Philosophy behind Scrum, Scrum roles, scaled Scrum. Yeah, so it's got some good info in here. I'd encourage you to go ahead and take a look at that if you're just starting out in Scrum, and or maybe looking at a. If you hear that barking behind, that's my co-host Scrappy. So Scrappy likes to join us every now and then, and when he does, that's cool. We'll let him join us. Hang on a second. Making sure there's no other questions here. Oh, wait a second. I wanted to be able to answer questions on this other. I'm going to do a little bit of setup here while we chat. And I'm going to look for the next. Of course, obviously, you go to the Wikipedia page for Scrum, right? If you wanted to go to the Wikipedia page and check that out. I'm going to. All right. I'm just doing something here so I can do some annotations that I think will help you guys later. When you watch the replay of this movie or of this, you can actually see what it's a question and answer. So when you're seeing the questions on the right, you'll actually see the questions on the right during the replay as well, and they can act as bookmarks to take you to those locations. So I'm just going to say, just review ScrumMethodology.com. And now, just review ScrumMethodology.com. And I can do that over here. This is just taking care of some technical production stuff going on. So we just reviewed that, and now we're about to review the Scrum software development page on Wikipedia.com or .org. Different ways you can go at doing that. So we're going to go and do a walk through that right now. Okay. Of course, Wikipedia can be good and bad. I would look at the state of the articles. They usually tell you how good or how bad this reference material could or shouldn't be. But in general, I think you can usually find good information on Wikipedia. Let's take a look what we see here for Scrum. Software development process, core activities, requirements, design, construction, testing, debugging, deployment. Okay, so this tells you within the list of methodologies and frameworks. Here are all the methodologies and frameworks that make up Agile, right? And those are all the ones. Agile and Scrum is just one of the frameworks of Agile, right? So here, if we look through the history, Scrum was first defined, flexible, holistic. Yeah, okay, it came by an 86 article. Yep. You're going to study that. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Roles are 3 core roles. Scrum framework. Those roles. Producing. Okay. Okay. Product owner. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Development team. Again, just going through your high level, 3 to 9 individuals. That looks good. Some places you see 5 to 9, and I don't know if that was an older number. I think that was an older number. They had, I think it was 7 plus or minus 2 used to be a number at some point, but I know it's 3. It's 3 to 9 is the current, based on the current Scrum guide. Scrum Master. Okay. Coaching. Good workflow. How about workflow? And here you see this is a lot of There are lots of different ways you can define the framework in visual or iconic format, right? Through different kinds of artwork. If you're to go through the workflow, you start out at planning, right, and then go to daily Scrum, and review and retrospective. Okay, so yeah, so that's generally it. You're gonna have the sprint planning meeting, and they talk about taking from the product backlog, and I should, create the personal sprint backlog. They're missing some things in there. I don't know if they'll get into it in a little bit more detail, but they do have the first half of the meeting and the second half of the meeting. That looks good. Yeah, so this stuff is in general pretty good. But obviously, you know, if you're going for Scrum, you're going to go to scrum.org, and I think it's Scrum Guides or scrumguide.org might be the actual site for the new Scrum Guide. But go to scrum.org and you can find the new Scrum Guide, and that Scrum Guide is the same Scrum Guide body of knowledge for Scrum, for the Scrum framework, used by both PSM for scrum.org for the PSM certification of Scrum Master, as well as the developer and the product owner certification. Same thing on the Agile Alliance, which comes out with the CSM, right, and the other certifications for Scrum Masters and developers and such on their side. So they all use now, as of 2014, the same the same body of knowledge that was developed at scrum.org, right? Because everything, the Agile Alliance and everything was all developed by Ken Schwaber, right? He founded the Agile Alliance and such. Look back on the questions, see if anything popped up. So we're still in wikipedia.com, no other questions. We got some other questions going. I'm just kind of doing, going through, reviewing some web pages here. Don't really have any questions to answer for anybody. Anybody else can jump into the panelists, and we can have a little discussion of whatever you'd like. So, okay, that's, Wikipedia. Interesting. We will look for something new now. Wikipedia is done. Let's go again, doing some housekeeping in the back here to make sure that when you guys do a replay of this, it actually looks kind of cool when you're replaying. Brief introduction to Scrum, the Alliance and tools, right? That's one of the tool makers. Okay. Scrum.org, so of course you can go to scrum.org for the PSM certifications and the Agile Alliance for the CSM certifications. Let's look at agilemethodology.org. Let's see what that site is like. So this is agilemethodology.org. This, to me, just by the look of it, looks to be a copy and paste site where they kind of took stuff from everywhere else. Kind of like just a landing page of it, trying to just my guess. Just look at the about page here. Yeah, not found. Yeah, this to me just looks kind of like a clickbait site. See, again, I see all this foreign characters up here. So yeah, agilemethodology.org looks to be agilemethodology.org. Looks like clickbait site. So they're just trying to get you to, get you going there, and they'll probably have some ads and some things that pop up eventually to sell some stuff, but who knows what. It'll probably just be, AdSense ads and things like that. So it does appear to be that. I don't see much with, let's see, Agile training. Yep, found. So yeah, this pretty much just looks like an SEO site. They're getting clicked, and it's terrible because they don't even have any advertising on here. You look at this site and you think, Well, if they're going to get your links here, they're going to have some Agile things for you to click on. And it looks like maybe these are the only, no, these are just podcasts. Again, they've just scraped other sites of Agile and copied it all here, and they've taken no advantage of it for all their SEO efforts. They're on the top page, and they get nothing out of that. So pretty bad effort, failed effort, I would say. For clickbait, they got the clicks, but now they turned it into nothing. So there we go. AgileMethodology.org. Not really a good, doesn't seem to be a site of much content. Let's see what else we got out here. Oh, this tends to be a good site, ScrumReferenceCard.com. I think I found this to be a good, a pretty good site. If you go to ScrumReferenceCard.com/ScrumReferenceCard, all right, ScrumReferenceCard.com, ScrumReferenceCard.com/ScrumReferenceCard. I'm doing a little back office stuff here, so it'll pop up for you guys when you're doing a replay of this video. Okay, waiting for it to pop up here so we can answer it. Questions. There it is. All right, so ScrumReferenceCard.com/ScrumReferenceCard. Okay, this I found this to be a useful site for a good Scrum cheat sheet. You know, you want to have this just you have some people like I do Scrum training, things like that, Scrum coaching. So it's a good site that I might refer people to grab this and give them a sense of learn this framework real quick, or if I don't direct them to the Scrum guide, might direct them here to take a look at this and say, hey, here you get a good sense of all the aspects of Scrum in kind of a gigantic cheat sheet. And here they've done it in one gigantic HTML page. You can see as we kind of scroll down through here, and it's I think this is pretty good. This is really nicely done. As you go through, it really kind of lays out everything. Now, how well it matches up to the actual current framework, I have to take some time and review that. But just at cursory glance, it does look to touch on some things. Obviously, scaling is always a difficult subject, but they're just taking their attempt at it on what might work. Talking about related practices, so not just Scrum, but actually getting into some Agile appropriate practices that you can actually engage into your Scrum team. Yeah. So that was that. So as you can see, that's pretty good. And of course, after that, there's a zillion comments that were made on this site, on this particular one. What if we go home? Let's hit the home page of this. Oh, this is again Michael James. Michael James, according to the previous site that Michael James did. This I think it was Agile Methodology, another good site. He comes out with lots of really great reference material from Michael James. So you can see he's got a Scrum reference. If you go back to the home page on this site, ScrumReferenceCard.com, you'll get the Scrum reference card, but you also get in Spanish and Chinese, and he's got seven obstacles to enterprise agility. So folks that are trying to scale out Scrum to a larger scale, I want to check that out and see some lessons learned there. And some other resources here. He's got his training series, right? And he's got a Scrum Master's checklist. This is really good. I'm not sure if this is a whole other site. Let me check this out. I would definitely encourage folks to go to this, and we're going to see if this. No, this is on this site, So if you go to ScrumReferenceCard.com, go to the bottom and check out the Scrum Masters checklist. So for those of you that might be new to Scrum projects, just got your Scrum certification, you've worked on some Scrum projects for a while, and you may want to now get into your first Scrum project, and you're managing Scrum. You're thinking, wow, what am I missing? I would encourage you to check out the Scrum Master checklist that he has developed here. As you look at this checklist, it really kind of just talks you through. What should I be thinking about if I'm, how is my product owner doing? These are some things to think about, right? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? Are they, have they been doing this? Can they, are they giving information through big visible charts? Can you help them? How can you help them along? How's my team doing? How can you help them along? How are they doing? And how can you help them, right? What kind of engineering practices are they doing? Are they doing daily builds? Are they doing continuous integration? Are they doing continuous delivery? Where are they in that continuum, right? And how can you maybe help them get a bit further? So this checklist, this is a great little resource. So I would encourage you to go ahead and check that resource out. Macro measurements, I never really viewed that. And what HR doesn't want you to know. Well, hey, that sounds interesting, and I want to check that out at some point. Because, of course, whatever HR doesn't want you to know, I want to know. So that would be a good thing to check out. So I would encourage you to check that out. I'm curious. Let's pop in there. Let's all learn real quick. What does HR not want us to know? Okay, so an article I wrote. Employers treated as rats in a box. Yep. Okay, we kind of know that. Filling Scrum roles, hiring, assigning and firing, job titles and force hierarchies, HR as part of the solution. Okay, this may take some time to read that. I'm not going to take the time right now to read it. But we've all kind of heard different stories of how HR helps us and doesn't help us, and pretends to help us and doesn't help us. So your mileage may vary on that. So ScrumReferenceCard.com. I'll make a note as we are done with that discussion. Hey, we got an audience member that's got a question out here. Okay, let me pull that up. Let's follow that wiki. Hey, is there a decent book blog? Okay, censor. Okay, cool. So we got Stephen online here. He's got a question. You can see his question here if you're doing the replay. It's how does one find the new framework, or just follow that wiki page? Is there a decent book or blog to get a sense of it? So the latest now, Stephen, if you're talking about the new framework, meaning the latest Scrum framework, like what's the latest Scrum, the official Scrum body of knowledge? If you go to Scrum.org, actually I'll follow you through that. Right, we'll go through that right now. So the question that again Stephen asked, and Stephen, you can ask another question or do another clarify or throw something in there if I'm not getting this right. But the question was, how does one find the new framework, or just follow that wiki page? Is there a decent book or blog to get a sense of it? So when you say new framework, I'm assuming you mean the latest framework, the latest published framework for Scrum. That's the official Scrum framework that both Scrum.org and Agile Alliance use for their certifications for PSM and CSM. If that's not what you mean, go ahead and shoot a. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you had mentioned the difference between 3 to 9 and 7 plus or minus 2. Yeah. Okay, so for that, it's exactly like what I'm thinking. So you go to, we're going to go to, I'm going to add this up here. We're going to continue on with his clarification. This next question is more of a clarification. So if we go to scrum.org, we'll get there because I don't want to give you the wrong site. And just go to references, or resources. Over here, we go to resources. And then they have a site that they've set off aside from scrum.org and aside from Scrum Alliance. Because originally, this was all on scrum.org as they defined the Scrum Guide. But now the Scrum Guide has its own website, which is scrumguides.org. There it is. So scrumguides.org. And this is the same Scrum body of knowledge used by both Agile Alliance for the CSM certification and scrum.org for the PSM certification. And you can read it online here, but here's where that framework is defined. So when they talk about the dev team, inside here, you'll see them reference the dev team. They'll say the size of the dev team should be no less than 3, because otherwise it's it's too simple of a process, and it doesn't really give you any benefit to create a team around it. And then no more than 9, otherwise it's too complex, right? So, and then they define that in here. So you can download PDF version of the English, and they have 30 different languages, and so this is a spot where you can do that. So it's scrumguides.org. You can download and get the latest details on that framework. And but 3 to 9 is definitely the new and correct number. So cool, awesome, on the right track. Cool, perfect. So any other questions? Feel free. Any websites that you want me to review? Any websites, articles you want to discuss? Shoot on the URL. We can pull those up and discuss. If you'd like to join as a panelist, feel free to join as a panelist. Just hit the panelist link and come on board and join with me here. I'll go look and see if there's any other sites to look up while I'm looking for the next question to come in. So we looked at Scrum Reference Guide. Okay, I'll go to the next page here in my old. I'm just doing a Google search on Agile and Scrum. That's all I'm doing here. So what else do we have? So what is Scrum Project Management and Scrum Methodology? That's version 1. Okay, so version 1. These are some Scrum. Trying to look for kind of more general resource sites. Scrum Training Series. That's at Michael James' site. That's a great site. What is Scrum? Search software. Equally Tech Gadget. Okay, what is.com? That's part of what is. Okay. How about Scrum and 10 Easy Steps? All about Agile. All about Agile.com. Okay, let's see this. This is interesting. It might be a blog article, but I'm curious how to implement Scrum in 10 Easy Steps. That's an intriguing title, right? And of course, probably why they made it. So how to implement Scrum in 10 easy steps. This is way back in 2007, so maybe 2007 was Scrum was much less pervasive as it is today. So let's look here. All right, for Scrum methodology, sure, I'm very deep understanding of it. That's steps 1. Okay. Okay, so 10 easy steps. Get your backlog in order. How to estimate your product backlog. Sprint planning, clarify requirements. Sprint planning, estimate tasks. Create a collaborative workspace. Do your sprint. Stand up and be counted. Track progress with a daily burn down chart. Finish when you said you would. Review, reflect, repeat. Okay, that's kind of Scrum and 10 easy steps. The beauty of Scrum, right, is it's simple, right? Simple. It's simple to explain. It takes a lifetime to master, right? The art of Scrum. Let's look up what this site is all about. Agile. Okay, who we are, who we've helped. Agile blog. So who are we at All About Agile? Any other questions? Just feel free to pop them up. So in a way, okay, so this is a consulting agency, it looks like. To find the best results, you need extra help. Okay, so looks like consulting agency said they do agile transformations. So cool. I was looking more for a reference site, but that's one. Let's see, what else do we have here? Let's see if I have any other questions coming through on there. So far, I don't see any other questions. Okay. What else do we have? We're scrumming under 10 minutes. Scrum of Scrums. Guide to Agile. So that's the Agile Alliance. Agile Team Scaled Scrum Framework. Okay. 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 Scrum breathtaking brief Agile introduction. Agile Atlas. Terrible. Agile ASM, so a different version, different kind of Scrum Master certification there. Udemy class. Vivify Scrum, an Agile tool for professionals. Okay. Lots of Agile tools, right? Lots of Agile tools. Kanban versus Agile Scrum. Kanban versus Agile versus Scrum. Should be just probably Kanban versus Scrum because they're both Agile, right? So I might want to read that article at some time offline and figure out what their intention of when they say Kanban versus Agile versus Kanban versus Scrum versus Agile. Online Scrum tool. Scrum, yeah, there's lots of online Scrum tools for folks that are looking. Just looking for online Scrum board or to do. Hey, Scrappy, quiet, buddy. That's my my partner. Scrappy, quiet. Stop it. Okay. So, all right. Usually he's very quiet when I'm. Oh, Scrappy, hey, buddy, seriously. Usually he's very quiet. I'm not sure why he's acting a fool right now. All right. Guide using Scrum, some Scrum methodology for Agile marketing. Let's see, what else could we look at for Agile? Let's look. Has there been any news? Yeah. Let's look at Agile Scrum news. Agile Scrum news and see if there's what kind of news stories have there been on Agile and Scrum, right? We've heard lots of different, we've obviously seen different types of reports. Again, there's no particular topic for today. If you got topics, just hit up a question. I'm just kind of flying free here. There was no agenda set for today. It's pretty much your questions make up the agenda. If you want to jump on the as a panelist, you can join in as well for that. Hey, if you're back there, pet him so he stops that, or leave him alone. All right, so 7 things. So news article. So 7 sins of Scrum and Agile anti-patterns. The top reference, Scrum versus Scrum. This is InfoQ. InfoQ is a good site. Folks have used that, but it's a good site to see all kinds of infographics and stuff that people put together for presentations and such. Let's see what they have here. So obviously InfoQ is not just on Agile and Scrum, but it's a site where people can go and contribute as well. So this is the 7 sins of Scrum and other Agile anti-patterns. So there are anti-patterns, the processing tools over in Agile. Status overflow, stories over strategy. Right done, lost the reply. So this is, I think if you take a read of this may be someone who has probably experienced Scrum, that's been halfway done and kind of feels that's the bad part of it. And, when they say things like, ready and almost done, and overly done. You know, if they're not setting quality, you know, someone's getting loose on quality here. That's so. I think this is more. This kind of follows more in the Scrum Master wheelhouse of being, you know, let's set the standards here, and you probably would not see these 7 deadly sins, but I'm not going to give this much credence right here until read it, but that's kind of my take on just reading that, just skimming that. Get certified in Agile. Okay, list articles. Is that new? Okay, let's go to news. Am I in news? Doesn't seem like normal news results. And then I'll do. Let's go. Huh. That seems weird. I just don't seem. So it seems like their main source of news is InfoQ and Hindu Business. So this is a good opportunity for those that want to get some SEO and become an authority for Google News. How do you do that? Because you probably end up on the top of these lists here because they don't seem to have many news sources for Agile Scrum. Right, necessary steps of creating an Agile enterprise. So I mean, yeah, none of this is really news as much as it is all just blog articles, right? I mean, yeah, that's kind of news sometimes, but these are not like news. They're, you know, blog article opinions of things. So yeah, I'm looking for like stories of, you know, hey, you know, so and so tried to adopt, you know, like case studies and such, right? You know, or so and so tried to adopt, and they blame Scrum because they couldn't, you know, meet their ROI. So no other questions. I'm still not seeing any other questions. So I think we'll probably end this. I'll give 5 more minutes and see if I see anything else out here of interest that we look through here. Let's maybe look through Agile Scrum case study. If you got anything else that you want to go over or discuss, just pop it up in there. Interview prep, right here, storyline. Yeah, why Scrum doesn't provide value. Why and when Scrum doesn't provide value. Okay, that's interesting. That's a recent article. Let's take a look at that. Teams D-Zone, I'm trying to remember. D-Zone seems like a, oh yeah, they're part of the rough guards. Okay, yeah, so they're pretty cool. Okay. Personal opinion post on whether Scrum or Kanban provide value or whether we should go back to the peer manifesto. Okay. Okay, so Agile Zone brought to you in partnership with even the subject I like to emphasize as opposed to completely personal. Okay, so personally might agree or disagree. Okay, so okay, cool. So there you go. Personal article on and let's see if we can find bottom line what their bottom line take was on it. Okay. Conclusion. Growing is never a good idea. Okay, that was for a different one. Profession, cheated during planning. So I first work on that's it, nothing more. Okay. Doesn't really have any kind of conclusion in here from what I see. So we learned skills required to be an Agile tester, pattern of the month. Pattern of the month. Okay, that's good. Done. Your stakeholders happy. pattern of the month at agilepatterns.org looks at the definition of done. Okay, that sounds like an interesting site. Agilepatterns.org. I'd like to check that out. Let's go to agilepatterns.org. Because that sounds promising. That sounds like some fun stuff to achieving, manage, and evidence-based agile transformation. Great. Evidence-based is all about what we're talking about. We talk about empirical process, right? So I like this already. Agilepatterns.org. Let's add that to our. This will be our final review here. Agilepatterns.org. Achieving, managed, and evidence-based agile transformation. There we go. And if we were to look at about, because this is an org, I'm assuming this is some kind of a not-profit sign and report of use. Front page, comment, site, so undefined. Pattern methods. So I got feedback, contact, patterns, okay. Okay, let's say search. Okay, this looks like a really interesting site. I would encourage folks to go through here and check it out. So why Agile fails in large enterprises, according to one survey. So that would be really interesting to see evidence-based. So again, they're basing these things on evidence-based Agile transformation. So they've done a survey. 68.6% of the teams have been involved in a project that they knew would fail from the start. Agile projects achieved 71% success rate, compared with only 62.8% of traditional methods. So I like that when folks use actual, it's obvious everybody should like that, because you're actually getting numbers and not just anecdotal information. So I think this is going to be a great site for folks to kind of take a look at and kind of see, again, evidence-based patterns that you might use on your projects, or if you're coaching, or if you're doing any kind of Scrum Master work or Scrum projects. Again, I just want to we've been chatting a couple minutes. You might want to reverse it a little bit. Agilepatterns.org looks to be a really cool site. This is the last one we're going to review for tonight. Again, their motto, their tagline is achieving, managed, and evidence-based agile transformation. We like that. Just looking at this first article they had featured here. Why Agile fails in large enterprise. According to one survey, 60.6% of teams have been involved in a project that they knew would fail from the start. So they've got stats and surveys to back this up. I remember just reading an article just this week. Again, a similar discussion about Agile projects on Agile scaling up, having a difficult time because you scale Agile up, you have to control so many different things, right? It's all about, you got to control the culture. The culture has to be ready if you're going to actually start scaling up. If the culture doesn't support it, then, it doesn't support that trial and error kind of, self-organizing style, it's going to be hard to be, as successful as you could be. You start getting diminishing returns as you add on more and more teams and more and more people. And there's an interesting, I should have gotten that article. That would have been a good one. They're talking about a project. I'll have to look that up. Actually, it was a pretty interesting project that they did where they accomplished something with a 12-person team that a 500-person team was unable to accomplish. So, they kind of like descaling down Agile and being successful, right? Because they got, super, super high efficiency rates on smaller teams. Again, that leads to, 3 to 9, right? Once you get past 9, you get way a little bit too complex. And that's why everybody comes out with these different kinds of frameworks. So 12 failure models on Agile transformation. So I think this is going to be a great, for folks that are dealing with Agile transformation, this is great. Because typically when we're doing Agile transformation, we deal with Scrum of Scrums. That was kind of the original way of dealing with it. and it's still great. But then once you get beyond that, you're talking massive numbers of hundreds and hundreds and multiple hundreds of team members. You're really talking some serious coordination that has to be done, and just usual scrums gets to be maybe not enough. You got to think of how that how does that work, right? What framework do you engage, right? And safe has been one, and there's the Nexus is another one, and they all have limitations, and some of them can be super complex and some simple, but then run out of room, right, with how many teams they can manage. So so there we go. I think this is a great site that would review this. If you're looking for transfer, if you're doing transformation work, you're doing coaching work, you're dealing with Agile in a you're in a PMO kind of position, doing Agile and doing enterprise-wide, trying to make that transformation work, or figure out how to make it work even better, or hone it in, or fine-tune it. Looks like you're going to get some great patterns in here and lessons learned and actual data to back it up on how you might make some changes. So there you go. I don't think we have any other questions. Let me head back here. And I'm going to stop the website. So that was the last of what we had to. Well, we didn't have to review anything. There was nothing to review, but that was the last websites I was just going to go take a look at. So we're going to call it here. We'll do these regularly. At least once a month. There's also an East Coast version. I'll post that when we have that a little bit different times for West Coast folks. But if you would like to try and make those, you can try and make those. They seem to be a little bit more active in this one, but again, this is all just starting, just getting started now. It takes time, right? It takes time for things to build from, as we go. So I'll leave it with that and say thanks. You want to check out the broadcast of this. I'll usually try and post a rebroadcast up at ScrumFans.com. So you can find the rebroadcast of this one. You can find the rebroadcast of the one from the East Coast as well. From that was last week. You'll see future ones up there too. Eventually, I'll start trying to post the actual agendas for the upcoming ones there too, so you can actually join them too. Even if you missed the meetup notification, you can if you're keeping up on the ScrumFans.com, you can check that out. So, all right, thanks everybody. If you have not checked this out now, hope you're enjoying it at least on the replay. All right, take care. Bye now.